Na digital blessing. High tech, they rise, no stressing. Money boy on the beat. I see numbers on my screen. Green candles make me lean. My people, them, they win. High tech, they flow like stream. Enough we go down. Now only we know. All my people gather round. Make we show them how we grow. High tech, na juju money. Juju money. Price they rise infinitely. My God, dash us this blessing. This blessings. Digital money no go rest, oh. No rest. Sharp pattern they confirm. Every trader they affirm. All time high no be ceiling. Market makers them they feeling. My brother check the stats. Numbers climbing like that. New record every day. High tech show them the way. You know if we go down. Now only up we know. All my people gather around. Make we show them how we grow. High tech na juju money. Juju money. Price they rise infinitely. Infinitely. My God, dash us this blessing. This blessing. Digital money no go rest, oh. No rest.
Right, I think we can start. Everything should be all right by now. So yeah, let's start. My name is Hightech. Of course, I'm the creator of Hightech Meme Coin. This is of course the mint address of it. It's a Solana meme coin. I highly encourage you to get yourself a little bit of it. The link to it, of course, you can find in the description section of this live stream. And on this live stream, generally, I speak about what just happened today in the crypto market, in the crypto sphere, what I think about it, and of course, additionally, comment a little bit about high tech too. Let me check if everything is fine here, but seems like it is. Yeah, so let's start. Okay, let me switch the screen. Let's see if the transmission is going right. How is it's going here? Yeah, okay. Like this, I think I can stop it here. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions, write me. I will see them here as you see. And it doesn't matter on what platform you write me, I will still see it here in the live chat. I will try to respond to it, of course. So yeah, I highly encourage you to give it a try. Get involved in the conversation. And yeah, let's discuss what we've been dealing with. What we've been dealing with today, because as you may know, in the Middle East, there is a little bit of things going on right now. In Iran, to be more specific, certain country is dealing with Iran, and that is causing a little bit of a turmoil in the global finance. Bitcoin got a little bit scared of that situation, hence this daily candle here with a long wick to the downside. Right now, as you see, it's straightening up. It's back to green, and yeah, but for a moment it dragged us down. It has shaken things up quite a bit, but yeah, it's actually is coming back to a good look. Slowly but firmly. I know I've been shaken out of a trade on Bitcoin. Last time I checked, here was the close. It actually gave me a negative trade altogether. But last two were positive, plus 8.5, plus 9.7. That's actually normal, to get a negative trade once in a while, so that's why it's not like I think this is a disaster. Absolutely not. If things continue to look good, of course, my system will allocate it back into the Bitcoin market. So that's why I'm far from panicking. I'm far from from grief. And I'm mostly, of course, I'm interested in how it looks on the daily, how it looks on the weekly, meaning in the greater picture. Is anything breaking breaking here? But so far, I don't really see any serious signs indicating that the fun could end anytime soon. Actually, the opposite. I see that the game is actually quite strong. The players those that remained in on the field are quite strong, because as you see, even though it just happened today, all of the story related to the Middle East just happened today. Of course, as you see, we are coming back to green colors. The weekly also looks good, still remains in green. Of course, the kick and the body is much more squashed than it was just yesterday, or the day before yesterday. We looked much better, but what counts to me the most is that first it remains in green, and second, the candle body of this candle is higher, overall higher than candle body of the preceding candle. On others, it does not look, on other shot, it does not look same as good. It looks at it actually much worse. Much worse, because this weekly candle, even though just yesterday it was very nicely green, today we are back to the negative. We are back to red. On top of that, we are below $245 billion level. But I remind you, this is just Friday, so we still have a couple of days remaining for this weekly close. I think we end up this weekly in green, and I think we will get a close above 245 billion. I'll be surprised if that were not to happen. And so that I remain optimistic overall. I remain optimistic. I don't really think we should be panicking about what is going on in the Middle East right now. I think the first reaction, of course, is always nervous. Later people just get used to it, assimilate the whole idea. As you see, the S&P also had a bad beginning, because it opened fairly low, but shortly after the market participants spotted the opportunity and started to buy the situation up. So right now it is definitely far from the same dramatic look it had just literally a couple of hours ago. So yeah, I think we are back on the right track, on the upward trajectory. Let's take a look how Bitcoin dominance reacted today. It actually went back up. Yeah, a huge spike up on 1D, as you see on the daily candle. We are actually trying to get back inside of this ascending wedge, which is quite impressive. But yeah, this geopolitical situation definitely helped it a lot. In my opinion, this is going to be a fake out. We already went so nicely down, and now this thing wants to get back up. But the higher we go here, the more difficult it is for this chart. So geometrically more difficult with every single next percent. So that is why here you should not be betting on this thing going much higher from there. This result is already very impressive, and I think betting on it going any higher becomes so risky that it just doesn't make any further sense. But yeah, very impressive how aggressively up it went. In one day it went really high. Let's take a look at USDT dominance. This one probably went up quite a bit too. Yeah, exactly. It actually approached 488, but now it's getting squashed. That's good, of course. So yeah, I mean, overall incidents as the one from today, they do not they do not possess the ability to create trends or return the boat, so to speak. So that is why all they can do is just to introduce a little bit of a price action noise, and that's it. And I believe that is what we are dealing with today. Nothing more. A little bit of price action noise here and there. Of course, this helps to shake out even more of the weak hands, those market participants that do not really have any strategy, do not really know what they are doing here, do not really have the comfort of time, cannot really stomach the volatility, and that's why they're closing at a loss whenever things is going slightly against them. So that is why it of course prolongs the entire process of the uptrend breadth, but that has a specific after effect too, meaning that whenever that uptrend is finally born, it's going to be much stronger, much more difficult to stop, and nothing disappears in nature. It at the best it just it shifts somewhere else. Therefore, since we are waiting for this uptrend to finally take place for so long, it means when it finally arrives, it's going to be so much stronger. That's literally the only thing we can expect from this situation now. None other. Some people are speculating that we are not going to get the alt season this cycle. That's literally impossible because of how capital rotation works. But let them believe that. Let them believe that that's very healthy for those that know what they are doing here. Because those guys, that group of people, they cannot overload the market before it happens, because otherwise, of course, this rally would be nothing like impressive, and we want it to be impressive. So let them stay away. Let them join, the last minute at the end of the party and just create exit liquidity of 100 times. So it's there's no any kind of exception this time around too. So let them believe that. They did not believe we are going to pump here. They did not believe we are going to pump here. And they did not believe that we are going to pump here neither. And that's literally what we need in order for this market to really pump, and this time to pump really hard. So me personally, I have nothing against it. Let's take a look how Ethereum is doing. Have I been shaken out of Ethereum trade? That's the thing I want to know. Probably yes. Yes. And this one has been slightly negative too. Too bad, but it is what it is. So I have 3 negative trades. I had 1 plus 31.11. Then this is the third negative trade, meaning that statistically speaking, next one must be. Okay, maybe it doesn't have to, but the probabilities are increasing aggressively. That is going to be not only a positive trade, but also a very profitable trade. So again, it is what it is. You must know what are the rules of this game if you want to, be the winner. I'm doing it for quite a while already. Soon it's going to be 11 years. So I know it much better than vast majority here, and that is why they finance me, because this is of course a zero-sum game, meaning that if you want to stay the winner, I mean, if you stay in the winning team, it means like 99% of people are actually financing your wins. It's literally how what it translates to. So yeah, but when we examine, for example, the hourly candle on Bitcoin, here I remain in a very nice profitable trade, still plus 21.03%, and this one probably will go into dozens more, highly likely. Market structure, I like it. Like I said before, I don't really see any weakness sneaking in here. I think right now it yields strength, and yeah, from this trade I expect much more profits than what I'm already having. And yeah, I would definitely not short this market if I were you. I highly this advice not this is not a word. I do not advise. I do not advise you guys to short Bitcoin. No, and definitely not altcoins. Definitely, the moment to short altcoins was when it was dropping. Right now, I think you're risking way too much if you want to short it. When we look at the weekly on Heikenashi, those confirm everything is right. This Heikenashi remains green. When we go over to others, chart on Heikenashi, we can see that this weekly is red, but the candle body is resting within this range in between 245 250 billion dollars level, meaning that it's resting on a very strong support. If it was inside this zone, then I would say okay, maybe this is only between 195 245, then I can say okay, maybe we are going to stay a little bit longer. But since we are resting above it, then I automatically must lean towards more bullish scenarios than bearish. It's been taking its time. I'm not going to lie. Of course, I would like it to resolve much quicker, but apart for this market to finally have this, they do not happen very often. Once they arrive, you can enjoy them so much. Alt season is one of those and belongs to that category of things. So yeah, just be patient. I think right now we are at those levels that are very attractive for accumulation. Whichever altcoin, I mean, do not accumulate one altcoin because one can always turn out to be a scam. I definitely, of course, encourage you to get yourself a little bit of high-tech my meme coin, which is the only project I promote on all of my social media, and it is the last one I'm going to be promoting. So yeah, the link to its liquidity pool you can find in the description section of this live stream if you watch it on YouTube or on Rumble. If you watch it on X, then just go to my bio. You will find mint address there in the text form. You can go over to whatever Solana DEX, paste it in there, and it's impossible to miss it like that. I get yourself like $1, $2, maybe $3 of it is going to me. So you don't have to risk much. Those ratio here, given how much room I have for growth across all of my social media, how let's say what caliber of a grinder I am, and I definitely deserve that label of a grinder. I do not leave my projects never. I grind them. I turn them into success sooner or later. So yeah, here's your opportunity. Let's take a look how gold reacted to all of this, but probably good. Probably good. Yep, it even made a new all-time high this week. Was it today? No. Yeah, it was today. It spiked up to a new all-time high. Gold. Yeah, I was pointing it out that on the daily it looks better and better. Bitcoin is another story. If we actually take a look at PAXG BTC, so gold against Bitcoin, it wasn't as good looking. as you see. So here is performance of gold against performance of Bitcoin. So if this one grows, it means gold strengthens and Bitcoin weakens. So we had a nice spike up here on the daily. And I mean, here in this let's say this tiny context here, so far, sorry for that, yeah, so far it looks like we may be bottoming out, but you know, if printers are coming, if printers are coming, then of course Bitcoin will outperform gold. But yeah, so far on the daily here, it looks quite strong, to be honest. On the weekly, actually, even too, I would say it looks fairly good. To be perfectly honest, how much room it has to the downside? Looks like it could be bottoming out. So that's an interesting metric, but again, mind that if they turn on the printer, which they are probably are already doing, Bitcoin will have to outperform gold because it simply has much less recapitalization. It is much easier for I mean to make pumps on it. So that would mean this one will actually fall even lower, even though right now it looks like it could be bottoming out. So it's a little this one is a little bit tricky, to be honest. It's a little bit tricky right now, looking at it from this perspective. To be perfectly honest, yeah. Okay, let me take a look at the live chat. If you guys have any questions, of course, ask them here. Don't hesitate to ask me. Yeah, let's take a look what we've got on X. Interesting topics. Because here, can I add anything else? Let's take a look at maybe at S&P. S&P looks strong. Okay, now it looks really good. On the weekly, on the daily, of course, today is red, but you know, do not get overly discouraged by that because here we were red too, and look what happened afterwards. We did not encounter much resistance shortly after. So I don't really think we are going to see it now, neither. You know, there's the daily today looks not the best, but let's see how it closes. It still has a little bit of time. 7 hours. 7 hours to close, so definitely enough. Definitely enough for the altcoin market to recover. As you see, it looks like somebody dropped a bomb here. red, and red, almost only red. TST is having a small pump, plus 10%. BiFi, very small pump. All of the rest is hugely red. What suffered the most? Those are actually Binance coins, because I trade mainly on Binance, so that's why I'm not interested in any other coins. Anime has suffered minus 14, almost minus 15, and I trade Anime, so Hamster minus 15 and Dent minus 14, so nothing that would exceed minus 15 actually. So not that bad, not that bad. Could be much worse. No, here, sorry, home minus 16. Okay, so minus 17 probably we won't find anymore. So I mean, for the volatility altcoins have, that's not that bad, to be honest. Could be much worse. Yeah. Let's take a look how meme coin search term is changing. This is the search term that, in my opinion, will be the most reliable in identifying alt season coming, even though it's about meme coins, not altcoins. 18, 16 this interval, last one was 18, so it stays as it was. It maintains the same distance. Same here. or meme coins, meme coin, those two terms, literally the same. So we are at one of the lowest levels throughout last 12 months. In my opinion, that's a buy signal when we are this low. I think you should be interested in accumulating right here. And this is interesting because that does not include some of the states. I didn't even know that. But majority of them are included. Let's take a look at liquidation levels. Bitcoin 453 million. Yeah, okay, that's decent. That level of liquidation is decent. $453 million. That's something. We've seen much more, much higher than that, of course. But that is definitely something. Others 120. So yeah, so no wonder why we went a little bit down, because apparently there was some crowd gathering and that liquidity had to be grabbed. Apparently. With zero mercy. Here it is. That explains it pretty much, why Bitcoin had to dip a little bit just to grab that liquidity. And crypto fear and greed index at 54. As you see, yesterday was at 61. Actually, this one is from yesterday, so the read from today is going to be much lower. That's good. So we are going to probably cool down to 50, maybe even below 50. A lot depends on in what fashion we'll be recovering here. If we continue to recover as rapidly as we've been doing, probably the read from today is not going to be that cold, that low. It's highly probable too. Okay, let's take a look at my X timeline, what we can find here. This is about Nvidia. Okay, this is a larger thread, so let's skip it. QM Bureau, is decentralization a goal or a marketing slogan? This is simply an engagement farming, so let's keep it. Crypto Beast spitting some truths in his opinion here. They're both nuking my bugs. Yeah, that situation is nuking everyone's bugs, unfortunately. Most of my bugs got closed trades from what I've seen, because I was largely allocated into the altcoin space, but yeah, before the largest moves down, vast majority of it, like 80%, 90% of it, got closed. So I did not really suffer much on that drop. I think one of the coins that closed the latest was Bitcoin, but maybe because it had quite strong too, because that wasn't really a big loss. What's going on here? Produces 17.5% flat tax on all crypto profits. Is that lower than anything else? I have no idea. Look on chain. Gambler shorted BTC with 4DX leverage just as the drop began, now sitting on over 5 million in unrealized profit. It's insider probably. He had lost a total of 4.96 million across his last 6 trades, but this one trade made it all back. Okay, so maybe not. Or maybe he is, because we already have seen instances, examples of inside trading, insiders generally that are definitely insiders, and their hit rate was far from perfect, and they were actually losing money, even though they were clearly insiders. Why? Because they over leverage their trades. Just in, Apple App Store approves Bitcoin video game Sarutobi to use in-app payments. BTC just keeps winning, amazing. Again, it's a small win, but nevertheless, nonetheless, a win. I'm buying Bitcoin 5x leverage with lit drop plus 1%. Swarming, yeah. BlackRock just purchased $101.5 million in ETH, but that was 12 hours ago. What else? This one we are not interested in because this crypto fear and greed index, in my opinion, shows crap. You should not be following the one on alternative.io. I think it does not reflect well the sentiment of the crypto space. Meet Kevin. Strikes against Nanana being launched from Yemen now. Trump hit Houthis hard in Yemen to weaken exactly this type of attack. Okay. Justin, the current Coinbase CEO says Bitcoin could be the reserve currency of the world. Could be. Will it be? We'll see. French parliament puts forward proposal to mine Bitcoin to stabilize the national electricity grid. National states want BTC huge. Let's see if they really do that. Claims and to do the job is the world right now, crypto guys. Look on chain, 10 Bitcoin ETFs, net flow plus 940 Bitcoin. No, no, no. Okay, so generally in plus 940 Bitcoin one day across 10 ETFs. Not that bad. Same with Ethereum. Ethereum even more inflows, 132, almost $33 million of inflows. So yeah, this dip was definitely bought back. Binance. When you said you're watching the market and yeah, what a setup. It makes absolutely no sense to have so many screens, especially with virtual desktops. Like for example, I have here, right? You can switch it very fast, very quickly. Even if you have several screens, it's actually impossible to focus your eyes faster than this while you're switching desktops. So yeah, it makes no sense. It's going to be very expensive and it will give you literally zero advantage. It will not anyhow, even if you do manual trading, which I highly discourage you to do. If you really want to self into in in the trading realm, you must automate your trading. You must make a strategy and make it fly. Automate it, make it and let it fly. If you have to execute trades manually, then they are going to lose. Binance traders are dumping. Net taker volume shows heavy selling over the last 12 hours. Buyers are stepping back as fear grips the market amid rising geopolitical tensions. Is this panic temporary or just beginning? It is temporary. I mean, first of all, remember Binance is the biggest exchange by far, by far, far, far margin in the world. So of course, whatever is going to be happening there is very representative of the so-called herd, and the herd finances that 1% that remain as winners in this game. This is a zero-sum game, so 99% finances that 1%. But the fact that majority does something, it actually means you should be doing the opposite. All times, most of the times. There are exceptions from that rule too. From that story in the Middle East, not really much is happening. Besides that, yeah, the big guys keep buying. They are not really selling. The retailers are selling. That's my conclusion from what I'm seeing. So yeah, I don't think you should be betting on that. Even though in the Middle East, think those things they're not going to calm down. Instead, what will happen is that people will get used to it and will just completely ignore what's going on there more and more, and the printers will get turned on more and more too. Why? Because the United States will have to finance what is going on there, and that all of it is just a huge injection of liquidity into the economy, and at some point that will champion hugely risk on assets, and that is why, like I said, right now you should be interested in accumulating risk on assets, crypto assets, rather than running away from them. I know it sounds counterintuitive right now, but I think shortly, within relatively speaking short time, is going to turn into gold. That advice I'm giving you right now. Crypto beast. If crypto crash 80%, I have stocks. If stocks crash 80%, I have real estate. If real estate crash 80%, I have cash. If cash crash 80%, I'm fucked. Okay. It's not like everything can crash. The value runs from one side to another. So to your advantage, because of that mechanism of that the values just flow into different classes of assets constant. So yeah. Okay, guys, allow me to wrap it up right here. Share, like, and subscribe if you haven't done so. And a little bit shaky, worry not. We are going back. We are going back on the right track with Bitcoin, with altcoins, even meme coins. I still stand by my opinion that we are literally the days before huge pumps, huge pumps, and situation like this, like today, actually even help it even more because it shakes out more the so-called weak hands. That's what we want. It makes rallies later much more sustainable. So yeah, and we are holding the levels we had, as a matter of a fact. As you see, not much of a difference here and there. So it only proves my point. So yeah. Don't forget as well to allocate something small, something little into my meme coin. Again, the link to liquidity pool against USDC. If it goes 1,000x, which I'm totally. So for most of the people, if you throw at it and $1, $2, or $3, it goes 1,000x. 1,000x, you make a couple of grants, then it will definitely make a difference. So yeah. Again, share, like, and subscribe, and I see you guys sometime soon. Cheers.